The following program is rated TV MAL, TV MALS, TV MALSV. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to This Week in Bullshit. I am your host, Justin Proper. We are doing a pre-recorded stream because Thursday is going to be very busy for me, but I didn't want to do a whole other week without providing at least a show for you guys to enjoy and laugh at. And we have some special guests here joining us, as always, is Kai. Kai, how are you? You are now muted. You are muted.
That's right. I was just muted because of the clip. I muted before they started. Hey, I'm good, man. I'm good. I just look a little glowy when I'm full screen. How you doing?
I'm doing great. You have a very nice glow to you, like a pregnant lady would. It looks wonderful. Congratulations.
I'm pregnant with ideas in my imagination land.
Indeed. And speaking of pregnant, what's up, Puff? Good to have you finally on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Dude, absolutely. It has been a very long time since I believe I have had you on the show before, but this was years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, it's been a minute, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm very excited for what is in store with us today. Normally, this is where I say hello to the lovely chat, but instead, I can't see anybody. So if you're there in the premiere, what's up, guys? It's good to see you. I'm going to try to be in the chat and say hello to everybody there. But for people who are watching afterwards, also, hello. Thank you for checking this out. Now, we're going to start off this show with a couple of funny stories. This is a clip that Kai had sent in. It is very nice and a good lead in to one of the stories that we're going to be talking about. So this is just a nice, bright, sunny day that we're enjoying here. It's beautiful.
Look at that. Outside getting your tan on.
Shit, man! Kai! What was that?
That's a little too much tan.
A little bit too much. I mean, wow. I mean, just look at that. It just came out of nowhere.
It's not even jagged like light. First of all, like you said, not a thundercloud in the sky. And what kind of curvy ass shit is the lightning doing? What is that?
I have no idea.
Meekly, it's just the most meekest lightning ever. I'm just gonna wiggle in here and gonna hit this tree real quick. No one's gonna notice.
I mean, there's something shady about this whole neighborhood. I don't see any people or cars. It looks like Edward Scissorhands or something, that neighborhood. There's something weird going on here.
No one hangs out outside anymore. This is just what Earth looks like.
Where's this at? Like
Florida? I don't know.
I got some palm trees. Florida. Yeah, where's all the people at? That's weird. But that's weirder to me than the lightning. But that's weird. What do you think it is, Kai? Some kind of direct energy weapon or what? Some kind of advanced government weaponry?
It does fit those theories. It does. It looks like plasma to me because it's wavy. It doesn't look like lightning. Like lightning is, it's not do science.
Yeah,
it doesn't move like that. It's more jagged. It's following, the electrons are following a specific path, and that path is like this. It's not like that. So that looks like a direct plasma thing, and it's bright red. What the hell is that?
Dude, I just got Metroid Prime remastered last night. That's Samus's plasma beam. She's just firing down on a tree. She missed a Metroid.
You know what I think it is?
Yeah, there's like epic battles going on in the sky above us, and random stuff like this happens. We're just like, did y'all see that?
You know what I think it is? I think it's Satan. It's Satan, and he's also struck not too long ago. He struck a statue of Jesus in Rio. What does that tell you? What does that tell you?
I mean, that thing is pretty high up there. It's pretty much just like a conductor in itself, but it is like it's coming out of the right arm, which is kind of weird. The right hand. That's specific.
Did the lightning strike
cool
the statue, or did the statue summon lightning?
Ooh, good. What about that? I like that.
Yeah.
It looks like Jesus is like got the Palpatine's lightning coming out of his head.
Somebody should edit that with like both sides.
Yeah.
Like
someone could edit that.
that'd be super cool.
I read an article recently about how you can use lasers to direct lightning. And so what they did is they like on and off, shot a laser, a high-powered laser into the sky during a lightning storm. And the lightning kept following that path that the laser had laid out. So what if someone's over here, like hitting the sky from the ground at such an angle that it strikes the statue?
That's I don't know. I don't know if Rio has that technology, but
well, you can get it on Amazon.
I guess you could. We do have a couple other funny stories to talk about before we get into the main event. So we are all cannabis friendly here on the channel. At least the guests are.
Right, Justin.
I can safely assume that, Hoff?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
People can also divulge
the
themselves with some of my cannabis products. I got little gummy ears. I got all kinds of stuff.
Now, what would you think if at a dispensary you walked in and people were topless? What would you think of that?
I would definitely approve.
Mm-hmm. This used to be, what they're talking about is this club used to be a strip club, but it opened a little before COVID had hit, and then they had to shut down, and they're reopening, and they're like, oh, what if we make this a dispensary instead and just have everyone be topless? I don't know. What do you guys think of that?
What was it before?
It was a strip club, like a regular one.
The topless cannabis club. I think that's pretty solid move, actually.
I mean, if you want to get two birds stoned at once, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
You'd probably make more money.
I think so. I would not be opposed to that. I would not be opposed to that at all. And
especially if there's a lot of other strip clubs in competition, they'd be the only topless cannabis club.
Dispensary. It's gonna blow every dispensary out of the water, for sure. That's what I think.
But sometimes you don't need that. You're not gonna see like older people medicinal. Maybe you will. Maybe you will see older people going in there. I don't know. But, maybe you just want to get in and get out real quick one day, and you don't want to stay in there and throw dollar bills at the person behind the counter.
I don't know. It could lead to like a.
Oh, you bet your bum I'd be in there. I'd say, hey, sweetie, do you remember when yours looked like that? She'd say, oh, yeah, weren't they fun? But now I can wrap them around your head. And I'm like, yeah, I do love it when you do that. So topless dispensaries are the way to go. I want to see some older ladies in there, though. I mean, 70 plus. You got to be sagging past your belly button. You know what I mean? Let's get some variety.
You know what? I am against ageism, and I completely agree. However, Kai, there's another topic that you might be interested in that I found to be quite curious. An anime actress with nearly 1 million Twitter followers tweeted out a guide telling her fans to bathe before coming to her concert. Apparently, there's a reputation of anime convention goers who don't shower, I guess.
Oh, yeah. That's a thing at conventions. There's always those people that never come out of their house except for to the convention. and they don't shower. They go, what? I'm like this every day. Yeah, bro, that's a problem. You don't realize that?
Yeah.
You can smell them when you're at a convention. Sometimes you don't know where it's coming from because it's all around you.
There's this car that drives around near me. Actually, the person who owns it lives at my buddy's apartment complex, so I see it quite often. But it's this white car. It's like a Ford Focus or something like that. I don't know. That's not the exact model. But it's like, you know, like a mid-2000s kind of car. And just covered. It's white, and it's just covered with hundreds and hundreds of anime stickers. Like girls and stuff. I don't know who drives this thing, but I see it around quite often.
What? So
why
what
get your
happens if
car
they get
wrapped when you could just lather it in stickers?
Yeah, I mean, and what happens if that car gets totaled? All of that is now gone to waste. Are they just going to go to the towing lot and just peel them all off, save it, and put it on the next one?
I mean, there's too many at that point. I think you just gotta let it go, and that you can't resell that unless it's going to another anime guy. Like no one's gonna, unless you want to peel them off yourself. Unless they're like those vinyl decals that just come right off. I don't know what they are, but it's disturbing to see.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with customizing your car, but it gets to a point where it's like, you know, hey.
Put a spoiler on it instead. You know.
Yeah, indeed. But speaking of Asian culture, China's ban on female lingerie models leads to lingerie wearing male models in shopping live streams.
Wait, who's banned?
China's ban. They
China?
banned
Oh my
female lingerie models, and now it's just a bunch of dudes wearing it. This is what you get.
Well, it's like they got that. There's that one guy.
Like
here in
no
America.
sissy men, but also no female lingerie models. Like, bro, you can't have both.
No.
It's like that dude here in America wears the eye makeup and he's selling tampons now. Like he's literally. Did you guys see that?
No.
Yeah, there's a man selling tampons. Okay. Women buy it from a man, I guess.
I guess.
Well, I don't
Someone who
think a
knows-
woman would trust it.
Someone who's used the product, I guess. I don't know. Who can actually review it?
I don't have a clue. Like, what man would be able to? That just confuses me even more.
Yeah.
Reminds me
Alright.
of South Park. Cheech and Chong selling the Native American hair tampons.
Oh God. Oh, absolutely.
Native American hair is like really absorbent.
Well, I talked about this once on Hoffcast. People didn't really like it, but there was this there's this trend of people where they freeze tubes of tomato paste, and then they'll shove it up their beehole, and then they'll let it melt, and then they'll put tampons and pads on, like the men will, and pretend like they're having their period. So they're like, yeah, they're pooping out tomato paste, saying they got a period.
That's
What?
stupid.
Yeah, it is.
It was
I was
talking
just
about
saying that it
belittling
happens.
women's real experience.
I know.
It's not even bloody enough. I mean, like, this.
It might
It's not
hurt
even
worse.
bloody enough.
You could get frostbitten in your anus, in your rectum, you know, if it's too cold.
Yeah, because that's the least of my concerns when it comes to that. Is frostbite in your ass? Yeah,
Unless
that's
what
Well,
you're
I
into,
mean,
I don't know.
I'd be pretty worried about that.
you know what I'm not worried about though.
That's what they call a cold day in hell. That's what they're talking about. When people say that it'll be a cold day in hell. It's when your rectum gets frostbite.
Speaking of a cold day in hell, there is no way that the MCU has had a lot of celebrities come into the newer movies as of late. A lot of random ones that are just kind of out of nowhere. They're just trying to, I don't know what their angle is, but I don't care for it. It's not going to grab my attention. And another celebrity who thinks the same way is Nicolas Cage. Nick Cage doesn't need the MCU because he's Nick Cage. Says Nicolas Cage.
Nick
And
Cage.
for those of you who are not aware, he accepted an award in Miami, something about achievement in film, and he was saying I've done all these movies and stuff. why does the MCU need me? Why do I need the MCU? Like, what would be the point of me, going in there? He talks about how he loves the MCU, like he loves Marvel. He loves Stan Lee. His stage name, Nicolas Cage, is based off of Luke Cage, a Marvel character, so he gives him a lot of praise. But that begs the question, though. Does the MCU really need all of these celebrities like in their movies? Like, do they really need Nick Cage?
They need me.
They need you. Why do they need you?
Because I need money and I'd do it. Dude, I wasn't Bill Murray just in like Ant-Man or something? I didn't see it, but I heard he was.
Yeah.
Like, he just pops up for like 2 minutes or something like that. I don't know. Maybe just an easy way to stay relevant, an easy paycheck for some of these celebrities, and then they can Marvel can put them in their credits, and make the movie look like they got like Bill Murray in the movie, even though he's in it for like 2 or 3 minutes,
It'd be great if Nick Cage was consistently Nick Cage in other franchises and worlds. So that Nick Cage is Nick Cage is Nick Cage, So you're watching the MCU, and in the background there's a Nick Cage movie playing, and Nick Cage is like an actor in that world. And just in every reality, he's Nick Cage.
Well, there's a theory that Nick Cage is a vampire.
There is. And he's
been around
roommates
for
with
centuries.
Keanu Reeves.
Yes. Who's also could possibly be a vampire.
Right, indeed.
Why? What's with this vampire thing?
There's
what are you
old
talking about? I've never heard
pictures.
this before.
There's pictures of people way in the past that look identical to Nick Cage.
And Keanu Reeves.
Oh.
Yeah, it's crazy. But
That's funny.
I don't know. Do you guys really think that there is like sort of a priority of like of having celebrities in these MCU films that there's already like half a dozen that come out each year. It's very oversaturated. That goes without saying. But what is the purpose of having all these celebrities like in there just to be in there, just because they're friends with them or something? Like, there's plenty of people out there who would do a great job, and one of the points that Nick Cage brings up is that it's not so much about character as much. It's more like who is the face on there than just having a bunch of them put out.
These actors don't care about the characters that they're playing so much anymore, as much as they used to, maybe. For sure, man. Like, I think it's just like it just really helps sell the movie if you got big names in it. You know what I mean? People are familiar with the actors that you put in there. You know what I mean? If you're familiar with the actor and you like their previous work and they're going to be in this movie, then you're more prone to go see that than some no name you've ever heard of, who could possibly do a better job, no doubt. But I'm just saying, they're all about their bottom line, baby. They're trying to put asses in seats,
Mm-hmm.
And they'll do whatever it takes to get that done, even though they're not doing a good job of it from what I hear anymore. But they're not putting mine in any seats.
Well, that's why it was good in the beginning when, like, let's say with the X-Men movie or with the early movies, they'd get a big actor here and there for specific roles, but they weren't just trying to fill out their roster with like every big name they possibly could and have.
They're gonna run out eventually, right?
Thing, huh?
They're gonna run out eventually. Run out of big name
and
celebrities.
also that's gonna get really expensive. Like that's ridiculous. They also let's say look at X-Men, the X-Men movie. Everybody, as soon as they're making an X-Men movie, everyone's like, cool. So like Captain Picard is playing Professor X, right? And then Halle Berry was Storm, and who else?
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
No, Hugh Jackman was a nobody. Nobody knew who Hugh Jackman was. In fact, people were like, this guy's like 6'1". Wolverine's like down here. What the hell? What? Yeah, he looks like him kind of, but what are you doing, man?
But then when
we saw the movie and everyone went, yo, that Wolverine was sick.
and that actually is you make a great point, because these kinds of movies can really launch someone else's career. It launched the career of Tom Holland. It relaunched the career of Robert Downey Jr. when he was in a slump. Tropic Thunder also helped, but
It's a comeback movie.
But yeah,
I remember right.
Yeah, I mean, did anybody really know who Mark Ruffalo was? Did anybody really know who Crimson?
He was like a small film, not like an
I
indie
remember
film
him
kind of a
in
guy or whatever.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, but I didn't even know it was him until I watched Marvel later and found out later. I was like, oh, he was in that movie. Someone told me, he's like, did you know he was in that movie? I was like, nah. And then I saw it again. I was like, oh, okay. He doesn't even
Who was
look
he?
close to
Oh,
the
was
same.
he the professor?
He was one of the guys, one of the programmers who was in there while they were asleep, erasing their minds. He was the guy with the glasses.
Oh, the guy with like Elijah Wood or whatever? Or no, the guy that no. One of the guys in there. Okay.
Yeah.
So he had done some stuff, but that wasn't like a big.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was when I saw it the first time.
Yeah, but it's one of those actors where like you saw him in some movies that you remember, but you don't remember that actor specifically. Like, not a household name yet. I think that was sort of the point that I'm getting at. And Chris Evans was in some movies, like none of the team movie, but he wasn't like Chris Evans. He wasn't Captain America. Chris Hemsworth wasn't even Thor. These movies made them the A-list celebrities that they are now. And putting A-list celebrities in here, that's not always a bad thing if it's like a small role or whatever. But when you do that for every single film, it gets very annoying, and it takes away from these newer actors who have, this is their golden opportunity to shine. And Bill Murray just outshines everybody. And what's even the point? Jeff Goldblum and Thor Ragnarok. What was the point of that? I don't know. There was no point. Also, I know.
Well,
I don't think. Huh?
I kind of like this character, but the big actors, like here and there, it's like tentpole movies. They have the movie that makes a lot of money, and then they have all these little ones, like that traditional schema is effective also in casting. You've got we kind of paying a lot for this guy, but not too much. He's a well-known name, but he's not like A-lister, like Jeff Bridges, for example, when he was in Iron Man, and he wasn't like, he was well known, but everyone wasn't talking about Jeff Bridges. And so those are good picks.
I mean, all fairness,
but
Lebowski.
Halle Berry, even people still complained. They're like, her hair wasn't long enough.
Who cares? All these
so it was
nerds.
longer than the next one.
But what were you saying, Hoff?
Oh, I don't even know. I was thinking about Chris Evans no one even remembered him being in Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. He was the only good. He was the best part. Well,
he was,
him and
still no one
what's her name?
remembers
Jessica Alba.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah. All I remember from that movie seeing in the theater, and I only saw it in the theater once or twice maybe, was Jessica Alba having to take off all her clothes because she was invisible. Yeah. And I was like, that's fantastic. Love it. Yeah, that's the only part I remember.
Got a round of applause.
Yeah. Round of applause for Justin.
Standing ovation.
For Justin remembering when he thought he was straight. That definitely helped.
The thing, I liked the way they did the thing though. His look, they did a good job. Because then they did him all CG in the Fan 4-stick one,
Right.
But they did it, he looked cool.
But also, Justin, something I wanted to bring up is some of these actors, they already have, you mentioned Jeff Goldblum. He already has a deal with Disney already, Disney Plus. I don't know if that was before or after Ragnarok, but he was doing a show on there. I can't even remember what it's called, Life with Jeff Goldblum or something like that. But yeah, you see him in Thor Ragnarok. He's just Jeff Goldbluming around. He's not really playing a character, He's just being that goofy guy, in the Apartments commercial or something.
Sometimes the way these deals work, it's like, hey, we want, you to be whoever for this role. Oh, okay, I'll do that role, but I kind of have this documentary. Would you put it on your streaming service? We could make that part of the deal, and I'll do it at a discount.
Look at that.
Oh, all right,
That's a good point.
Fuck yeah, dude, let's do it.
Dealing.
And then they do the deal, and that if he's already got it done, he can go live. the same, within a month, within a week, whatever the deal's done, and then the movie's still going to take time to come out. So
Yeah,
it's hard to
yeah.
tell sometimes.
But yeah, I mean, I really do think that for the future, this might take away from, a new up and comer, somebody who's maybe not brand new, but someone who's really like needs to make a name for themselves. And this could be that movie. Wasn't for the Internals. I don't know anybody who was in it except for Kamal Nanjiani. I thought one of the guys was Sebastian Stan. That's how. Yeah, so that doesn't quite work like that. But
wasn't Angelina Jolie in that?
I don't even remember. I got through an hour in, and I was bored out of my mind. We're still with character introductions, and it's like, ugh, just come on, let's pick up the pace here. It was an infuriating watch. But I mean, I really want to know if you guys think that this is going to hurt like up and coming actors in the future if they continue down this route. Like, and what can they do to fix it?
I mean, I think they've already. I mean, I'm just real quick. I think they've already somewhat tried to do this a little bit. With like they've already phased out, and they can bring them back whenever they want. But they've phased out like Captain America and Iron Man and a lot of the big names, Black Widow. A lot of the big original Phase 1 characters are pretty much gone at this point. So you're getting like the new characters like Miss Marvel with some new actress or whatever. But I mean, it's not, in my opinion, it's not good content. They're not, I don't know what to say. I mean, they put no names in these movies, but these movies just aren't good anymore. So, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I just don't think people care as much. So it's not launching their careers as much as it used to because people aren't as invested in the movies as much as they used to be. I'm certainly not. I know most people I know aren't. So, I mean, just from consensus.
They're not invested. The people aren't the same caliber. Nothing is of the same caliber as it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not landing.
Yeah, it's more or less. I think about the backbone of it is the story. That's what's more important. And if the story sucks, if the writing is awful, I think that's what a lot of people complain about. And you know what? Maybe you guys are right. If you just attach new actors to this, they're just it's not gonna help their career. In fact, it's only gonna hurt it.
Look at She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who liked that. Not a single person have I ever talked to has either watched it, or if they did, said they liked it. It's just it's maybe a few people out there, a few crazies, but like 90% of people didn't like that, and the actress involved in it might have hurt her career being involved in something so crappy.
And that's unfortunate because some of these actors could be great. You just have to give them the tools that they need. I think this is basic stuff that everyone pretty much knows about. But hey, you know what? I think it's worth mentioning. So I think this is a good time to talk about the man of the hour. He just released a stand-up comedy special on Netflix. It was Chris Rock, Selective Outrage, which, by the way, was streamed live on Netflix. He did a show in Baltimore this weekend, live on Netflix. Yeah, it was.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Oh, crazy.
Huh.
Yeah, maybe not like the intro so much, but like the actual show and the camera angles, absolutely. I don't know about you guys, but we watched part of it. I know I watched the whole thing. Kai watched a bit of it. Hoff watched a bit of it, or at least the important parts, because what people are remembering from this is I'm
going to finish it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I hope so, because it's actually pretty good. And it leads to what everyone is talking about. Everyone is talking about, of course, the slap heard around the world with Will Smith at the Oscars. He does address this in the last part of the special. And it's something that he hints at throughout the special. He talks about Snoop Dogg. He says, no, I don't want another rapper mad at me. Audience laughs. They're like, okay, cool. And then he talks about something about Jay-Z and Beyonce, how if Beyonce worked at Burger King, she could still marry Jay-Z. But if Jay-Z worked at Burger King, There's no way, no way. And he says, I'm not dissing Jay-Z because I don't need another rapper mad at me. And then he goes into the Will Smith bit, and he like finally addresses the elephant in the room that everyone is anticipating. Everyone's like, okay, now we're in for it. We know like this is gonna make news once he says what he says, and he does it. And live.
Even building up to it too.
He was very
throughout
much
the
building
show.
Up to it.
Little seeds I mean, I'm halfway through right now, but I can see the pieces coming together.
Yeah, and instead of showing any clips, which I thought would be a good idea, now that I think about it, probably not so much. I'm just going to briefly go over a couple of things that he mentions. So he mentions, of course, did the slap hurt? Yes, it did. Absolutely. Will Smith is much bigger than him. And, of course, Jada sleeping with their son's friend did not help. He also emphasizes that they interviewed each other about it on television. Like, why would you do that? You're putting out your dirty laundry, like, for everyone to see. I mean, guys, do we partake in that? Do we talk about those kind of things on our shows? Not really.
Well, that's all I talk about. I'm all about the drama and exposing people. No, I don't.
I'm fine if other people do it, but like I don't. I'm like a third party. I'm like I don't have a. It's like whatever, but it's just man that was eye opening. And then he talks about other things, but I did like this article that sums up some of the points that we're going to talk about. Chris Rock showed why you never slap a comedian, which is, I think, the best thing that CNN has put out in a long time. Let me just put that out there. He says, it's been almost a year since the whole country, if not the entire world, was talking about the slap. The slap in question occurred, at the Oscars. Of course, after, you guys saw it in the intro. You saw the joke. You saw the slap. We all know what it is. And... And then it led to a brilliant confrontation, very briefly though, which I thought was pretty funny.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's out your fucking mouth!
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
That was the aftermath of that. Hope you guys liked that little edit there. But yeah, very awkward moment. Will Smith has been banned for the Oscars for a decade. He's got 9 years left on his sentence. And
poor Will.
Oh yeah. Oh, poor him. Oh, boo-hoo. It's not like he can't get nominated, but he just can't go, which is really weird. So the guy says on Saturday, Rock struck back hosting Netflix's first live stand-up special. He showed Smith and the world what happens when you slap a famous comedian. And he said it's called Selective Outrage, but could more accurately have been called Rock's Revenge. It was clear that Rock was venting his rage at one person, Will Smith. But the special also took aim to a lesser extent at the actor's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, whose name Smith angrily shouted that Rock needed to keep out of his mouth. After the special, Chris Rock was trending on Twitter, and for a good reason. The comedian hilariously and at times angrily went after Smith for assaulting him in front of the world. The 3-time Grammy-winning comedian opened his hour-long set by teasing that he would discuss the incident, joking, "People always say, words hurt. Anybody who says words hurt has never been punched in the face." He then riffed on a number of different topics, including addiction, abortion, racism, and wokeness, stuff like that. But that is a good line. I want to point something out. What's that?
I want to point something out. I just realized as you were reading that throughout the special, notice how Chris Rock referred to her. He never once used her name.
No. Will Smith,
but he did refer to her by a number of different colorful
from what
ways.
I saw, from what the clip I saw, he did not say her name. He kept her name out of his mouth.
Yeah, he just. I think he just
He's like, fine.
At most, he referred to her as Will Smith's
name.
wife, his wife.
Yeah, that was the nicest way that he referred to her.
Right. And I also agree with what he said. Anybody who says words hurt has never been punched in the face. I've been punched in the face. I don't know about you guys, but I've been in a couple fights. Yeah,
I've been punched in the face many times. More than I care to brag about.
Once by me. No, no, I'm kidding. No. Remember the one time we? No, I'm kidding.
It takes a while to get used to the stun, the kind of the psychological like stun from being popped in the face.
Yeah, especially when it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old sucker punch, bro.
Yeah, and yeah, it makes the mean things that people say about you not hurt as much. It just doesn't. It's just one of those things where I would agree people are pretty soft nowadays. Like words hurt. Oh my God, you know what hurts more? Actually getting physically assaulted. Like, come on, like enough with this silliness. Okay, I think we're in a consensus there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're people who have been coddled
Yeah, a little too
their
much.
whole lives.
And it goes on to say that in the last 10 minutes of the show, Rock really came alive. He started the section by saying, "You all know what happened to me, getting smacked." And people were like, "Did it hurt?" "It still hurts. I got summertime ringing in my ear." And then he says this, but the comedian said, "I'm not a victim. You'll never see me on Oprah or Gail crying," adding that he took that hit like Manny Pacquiao. Yeah. Yeah, he did. He actually didn't. I think he was very. Am I wrong? Like, correct me. Like he didn't really talk too much about it. He just like.
He just moved on with the show. Just like got hit and was like, "Oh, okay."
Well, at least
that happened.
He
Like,
took it
that
probably
was
the best
his
you
level
could.
of-
He handled it probably the best he possibly could have, in my opinion. Until now. But
Because he's the host. Like, he has a job to do. He's supposed to carry on. So he's like,
he was
all
a
right.
presenter. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the MC.
Yeah, at that moment, he's supposed to make jokes, and Will Smith even laughs at first, and then decides to do that, which made absolutely no sense. But
Well,
yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay. I mean, I was just gonna say something I've had on my mind for a minute here. Going back to when this first happened, I was one of those guys. I still maybe am, just slightly, who thought this was it was staged. Like it was not even it didn't, like it was set up from the beginning, because it was all just real fishy, the whole thing. Now, after watching this Chris Rock stuff and seeing how passionately he speaks about this, it makes me think way less that it may have been staged. And because just hearing him talk about it does not make it seem like it was staged at this point, unless they're all just in on this big joke at this, which I don't think that's the case anymore.
Yeah, when you see him passionately talk about it, as you said, I don't really think I needed that. It was the Academy actually banning him, Will Smith, that I was like, okay, this is probably real.
Yeah, I was like, we'll see if they'll forget about this in 2 years and bring him back. That was my thought process on that. But
You should have brought him back this year and have him do a joke and do it again.
just every year, Chris Rock gets slapped.
Will Smith pays for the Oscars by hosting the Oscars the next year, and then after every joke, anyone can literally jump up on stage and slap the shit out of him.
That would be awesome. That would
Out
be
of
the
Will
best
Smith
Oscars. I would watch those Oscars.
As punishment, yes. Every single
Yeah.
time that he says a joke and someone gets even slightly offended, they can slap him in the face.
No, they don't even need to get. It's just like if he says
Just
anything,
interrupt
anyone
him
can
the
just
whole
go
time.
up there and slap him. You don't even need to be offended. You don't even need to claim you're offended.
He could just be like, knock,
My
knock.
turn. You just go up there and he's like, ah, I never thought I could slap Will Smith, and then you just go back down.
Oh, like you're just dancing around.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That would be
Imagine,
great.
Imagine someone, going up there. What's his name? Not Cat. Fucking Williams, the guy. Hold on. I need his name real quick. What is it? Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart goes up there with a stepping stool. Just jumps up on stage. Puts that shit down. Bah!
I would absolutely love that.
Cat Williams would need to as well. I believe he's pretty short too.
Cat Williams would, but like
joke would have worked.
It would hurt more from Kevin Hart.
Yeah. Also, Cat Williams probably wouldn't be at the Oscars either. So.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Unless he gets to slap Will Smith.
No,
then
that's true.
He'd be like, "Hey, Snoop, come on, get me in there."
I really like the part where Chris Rock was just saying, like, these guys called him a bitch, they called him a bitch, this guy called him a bitch, The View called him a bitch, my mom called him a bitch. He didn't say that, but basically everybody and their
everyone
mother
called him a bitch.
I'm like, oh, geez, Chris, tell me how you really feel. He never did. But it was quite interesting. And and he's like, and this was after, they had, Will and Jada had that awkward interview with each other about her cheating on him. I can't even. I'm not even gonna bother like sending a link to that or anything. No one needs to watch that. It's so uncomfortable.
It is. I've seen it.
Yeah, it's very weird, super cringy. And after that came out, that's when everyone called him a bitch. And then Chris Rock says everybody did. And who does he hit? Me. Why? Why? Somebody who has been, as he says, rooting for him throughout his career and has like even been like hints at how they were like cordial. They were friends. They starred in things together. They were cool. They were cool until that moment. And now he just wants to see Will Smith like suffer in movies, and so he gets like some catharticism.
That was the most brutal part of the whole thing when he was talking about that. The whole watch him suffer in a certain movie. That was brutal.
In Emancipation.
Yeah.
I have not seen that, but now I want to.
You missed a spot, yeah. He went from like, let's burn the masses' house down to like, hold on, let him finish. Let him finish. Let him finish with Will.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, but I mean, I would imagine, like, first off, Will Smith's probably really mad, filled with so much rage, and he just, in that moment, he's like, you know what? I'm going to take my anger out on somebody who's smaller than me, and I'll belittle him in front of everybody for insulting my wife, because everyone has been calling me a bitch, and so I'm just going to slap him and slap him in front of the world so everybody can see what a big man I am. That's what he did, and he
let everyone know not to be making fun of me.
Yeah, and then in the and then he wins an Oscar, and it's just so awkward.
He's dancing, after.
And he's dancing.
And his speech is about how the devil's gonna tempt you at your greatest moment.
Calls out Denzel, and Denzel's like, "Yep, the devil's calling for you, man. Nah, yep."
He's like,
yep,
that is exactly what happened.
You done fucked up, boy. Don't bring me into this. Don't bring me into this, man. Like, I could see it on his face. I can see, like, if Morgan Freeman was there, he's just like, no, absolutely not. Like, it was just so bad. And yeah, Huffy was dancing at an after party, and everything was all fine. Like, everyone was just gonna forget about it.
Morgan Freeman was like, never thought I'd see another man slap another man at the Oscars. And I saw it.
Man, but yeah, that's just one of the things that's just very interesting about that he thought he could just get away with that. But I loved how, as people were saying, that Chris Rock just kept his cool, kept his composure in that moment. But in the back of his head, I bet you he was thinking, well, I'm going to get you for this. And then he had this special out. I don't know. But how did you guys think that it turned out in general? How'd you think he handled this situation almost a year later? Do you think this was like a good, like, was it a satisfying conclusion to this Oscar story, or is there going to be more to it? Even though there are a couple articles that are about
yeah, this shit ain't done. This is gonna stick. First of all, this is gonna stick with Will forever, forever. It put Chris Rock on a level of respect that he just and like that he just wasn't on before, and like he handled it so well that it's been pretty much unanimously in his favor, even though he hasn't said anything. And then you see just after that, he's like within a few weeks of that. I don't remember how long. It wasn't that long. That thing with Dave Chappelle happened, and Chris Rock was there. He was there backstage hanging out with everybody.
Right.
With Chappelle at the top, you know? So, like, that's where he's at right now, essentially, culturally, as I see it.
And when Dave Chappelle was attacked, he was like, was that Will Smith?
Perfect.
Perfect.
That was freaking great.
Perfect. But you are right. This apparently is not over. Well, first off, the lovely Rotten Tomatoes scores. Do you guys want to see what the critics and audience score? I think it's very predictable at this point. 47% rotten, 85% fresh for the audience. Oh, gee, I wonder why. I don't know. It's probably not about the Will Smith stuff. It's probably about all the woke stuff, is what I'm guessing. And then
all the selective outrage, all the
the name proves their points. Yeah, pretty much. With all of these, like, I'm like, he's crockety, he's mean. Oh, he's mean. Oh, God forbid. Kelly, if somebody slapped you in the face like that, you know, like, would you be nice about it? No, I don't think so. Yeah, just not the best things have been said by critics. The audience loves it for the most part. He still got it. You know, it's funny. And I don't think
there was one up there that seemed it gave him a good rating, even though it was critiquing him a little bit. It's funny, but it seemed forced. He dragged a few of the bits out. And surprisingly, he messed up some of his own jokes. But that happens, though. That happens in live shows.
He was live.
Yeah.
He did that live, and you couldn't cut that, you know, like you could if you did. A lot of comedians, when they do a special, they do two shows on the same night, and they'll record both shows, and they'll take the best takes because they're wearing the same clothes and they're in the same place and everything. So it's easy if you mess up one, you can just use a take from the other set, pretty much match them up. But doing something like that, yeah, you're gonna mess things up. I've seen a bunch of comedians that happens, man. Show moves on.
Live is live. So.
Yeah, exactly.
And even if it had been pre-recorded, they would have just cut out that little bit from the live show, and then we wouldn't have been none the wiser. So.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, yeah, I get that. Oh my gosh, I just remembered something. Yeah, Kai, you are absolutely right. This isn't over. So we had a great CNN article about, you know, the Will Smith controversy and the opinion article. Good job, Dean. I think you did an awesome job. One of his colleagues, however, it was a guest on CNN, had advocates for violence against Chris Rock and comedians who make fun of black women.
He's already been slapped. How many times do you want him to get slapped?
Shall we play the clip again?
Uh-oh, Richard.
Oh, wow. Legs lifted off the ground.
Oh, my God, that is bona fide badass, man. Oh, you got to keep that tape, Lovin'. It is badass. It really is.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, don't you guys, like, need it for, like, evidence?
The only thing that's evidence of is you can take a hit like a champ, man. Seriously.
Yeah.
You know what would have been funny if this was on a show where there's an audience and someone from the audience just runs up and slaps her out of her chair and like runs back in the audience, sits back down.
Is somebody in the studio?
Yeah, they're like, "What was that? No, that's unacceptable. you're advocating for this.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
seriously. I have
mean,
not
like-
read this. What?
No, nothing. Go on.
Oh, I haven't read this yet, so I'm very curious as to what they said. A pundit told CNN that Chris Rock deserved to be slapped. Candace McDuffie says violence is a proper response when a comedian makes fun of a black woman. Wow. On Sunday, she penned an article with the headline, Chris Rock still deserved to be slapped by Will Smith. She explained her advocacy for violence to Don Lemon on Tuesday. I thought he was out of a job, but oh well.
Yeah, me too.
Of all people, she's telling Don Lemon. I'm surprised he didn't slap her.
Oh my gosh. It's not so much about being
With
slapped.
everything he's been doing insane.
I know, man.
He's like, really?
Yeah.
I identify as a woman.
Oh gosh.
Like, get her to insult him and then tell her that.
Oh man. And this is her. This is
Don
what she
Lemon's
says.
wild, bro.
Yeah. She says it's not so much about being slapped as much as it's about accountability. Oh, okay. Is it? Right? He has made black women specifically the butt of his jokes for years, and he's finally being held accountable. So I feel this kind of sets the precedent going forward, that people will be more careful about how they treat black women. So
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I thought Don Lemon was the other guy. I don't know the other guy's name, apparently.
Well, fellas, you know that
The guy from the
women,
morning show.
fellas, you know women can do anything that men can do, except take a joke.
that's what she's saying. That's
exactly.
what she's saying.
That's one point.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what? I really wonder. Like, is
She wants to. I bet you she makes jokes about men all the time, though.
maybe now I'm curious. I have to see. I have to see. Hold on.
What's the name of that guy from that morning show?
Okay.
By the way, I love women. I was just making a joke, women. If you couldn't take that, I'm sorry.
Sorry, women.
It's a catch-22 joke. It just
Okay.
it's an Ouroboros.
Oh man. I was really hoping that Candace was a white woman. I really wanted that to be the case. No, she's not. But Lemon said
Yeah,
he
Don
would
Lemon
focus
is
on her
okay.
words and say, is Candace McDuffie condoning violence, saying that Will Smith should have slapped Chris Rock? She didn't mind the said narrative, adding that while it seems like a bit much, that violence is the consequence of making fun of black women in a comedic setting. Honestly, sitting here, calling Jada out of her name, making fun of her hair condition, talking about her alopecia. She made a G.I. Jake joke, whatever, who cares? Words can be violent as well. Oh, God. That's the whole point of what Chris Rock was saying. Like, you didn't even watch the special. And as we see black girls and women, we suffer abuse at higher rates in this country, so continuing to humiliate us only perpetuates this. My God.
I mean, that's why people who talk like that about how words are hurtful need to be thrown into. Oh, really? You believe that? Okay, you're legally mandated to be in a fucking ring, in a boxing match or an MMA match or something. Like, go be in a fight now. You have to, and then you get your ass whooped, and then
It's like Fight Club.
then you learn.
Yeah, and she basically says they're off limits. And I like this, what they wrote here. McDuffie's outrage mirrors that of the smear campaign aimed at Dave Chappelle in 2021 following his Netflix special, The Closer. Rock and Chappelle do not discriminate on stage. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? Not discriminate? Everyone, it's all about inclusivity, all right? They mock all groups, genders, races, and sexual orientations. Chappelle and Rock differ from most forms of comedy in 2023. Most so-called comedy brands now focused almost exclusively on white people, Donald Trump, and Karens. Oh my goodness, man! I love that.
That's great.
I loved every word of that.
So-called comedy brands.
I'm just so sick of this outrage culture, man. I'm outraged over the outrage culture.
It's outrageous.
It's outrageous. No, it's just people just want to get upset over anything. Everyone playing the victim whenever. No one's actually a victim of anything. It's just people crying wolf all the time, man. I'm so sick of it. And whenever something actually does happen, something actually legitimately does go wrong, no one takes it seriously anymore because so many people cried wolf for so long, acting like they're victimized. It's so ridiculous, and I'm sick of it. I'm outraged at the outrage culture. That's how I feel, man. And people like this who get offended over comedians, man. How soft can you possibly be to get offended over anything a comedian says? Like, seriously, I just don't get it. I don't get it. And you might be, okay, fair enough. The argument would be, well, Hoff, you're a straight white male, so you can't be offended by anything. I beg to differ. I don't think that's completely the case. But,
hey, you're a person. Your feelings can get hurt.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like you're not any more or less of a human because of the color of your skin. Like, it just doesn't, I don't think it's ever going to register for some people, and I don't know. I think they're a lost cause.
Yeah.
Try getting slapped in the face and tell me how you feel.
Yep.
Also, a little less extreme, but Chris Rock was slammed as the rudest man and thoroughly unpleasant by Good Morning America host, or sorry, Good Morning Britain host. Okay,
yeah, we were talking about this, but
yeah. So. Yeah, that's the background and stuff. You said he interviewed Rock when he was doing publicity for Madagascar. I'm not defending what happened to him. It's wrong, completely wrong. But in 50 years in this game, he is the rudest man I've ever had to interview. I didn't smack him, though. I kept my hands to myself. All right, well, that was basically it. So, okay, well, good for you. But is this the guy? No, I don't think so. But yeah, I don't know. He's rude. Like, he's just, you know what?
It sounds like she was being, like there was they weren't connecting, and he was just being blunt in himself. She was like, oh, how rude. He's like,
right.
Oh, you
how dare you?
Yeah, he doesn't even really
I
give...
never.
Yeah. Yeah, he said he was the most unpleasant, rude, aggressive, unlikable person I've ever interviewed on camera, is what he said. Without question. We edited
the only black person she's ever interviewed. Or
yeah,
black American, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, why even bring that up? Unless you want to just get headlines?
Well, Americans are supposedly a little more rough around the edges, you know what I mean? And like Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle, I could see if they're like not having whatever's going on, or whoever they're talking to, or whatever, they could be perceived as being rude. Like, all right, like they're being, they might even be a little bit like confrontational, a little bit, like they're comedians, they're gonna be fucking around, and so. Yeah. I when I hear stuff like that from someone that isn't usually called rude, I remember that there's two sides to every story, so that's not a one-sided situation.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. It's a good perspective on that.
I want to bring up something. I'm no expert on this. I just listened to a couple podcasts about it or whatever, did a little bit of research, but I'm not too well versed. But there are theories, and I'm going to say allegedly in theories a lot. Like back in the day, Will Smith and Tupac were both trying to get with Jada.
Oh, heard about that.
Oh, actually, I saw a thing.
And there are theories.
Where was it? Did I save the video? It was Tupac talking about Jada and emphasizing that she is a friend. Where's
okay.
That video?
But there were theories that Will Smith may have.
But she was friend zoned. She's over here talking about how they had something special, but she was friend zoned. Jada's a lion ass.
That's interesting. But no, I don't think Will Smith took out Tupac, if that's what you're implying. No,
I don't believe that either. I'm just saying that people who theorize this,
Will Smith doesn't have the balls.
Yeah, he'd hire a hitman.
Should Knight?
He didn't have
yes,
the money
absolutely,
back then.
but no. Well, anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this installment of This Week in Bullshit. I really appreciate you guys being in the premiere chat and everyone who's watching afterwards, everyone who comments and likes and subscribes. I appreciate each and every single one of you. And let me know about your thoughts and what you thought about the Chris Rock special. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Do you agree with some of the stuff that we said? Do you disagree? Do you think that, for example, that Black women shouldn't be joked about and that Chris Rock did deserve to be punched? Or do you think that bitch is crazy? I want to know in the comments section down below. And before we go, Kai, what do you got going on?
Hey, I don't know why my green screen's being weird, but hey, everybody. You can catch me on my YouTube channel, KaiMFS.com. I mean, YouTube/KaiMFS.
Oh my gosh, we can't even get our plugs right.
So I'm doing a challenge this month to upload a new video every weekday. So go subscribe, check them out. I've got free short stories on my website. You can support me on Ko-fi, kofi.com/KaiMFS, or evillaboratory.com. You can buy cool merch, gaming stuff, notebooks. So yeah, that's me. Thank you. It's been good hanging out. Take care.
Absolutely. And
back to you, Justin.
Yep. And of course, our special guest, our old friend, Hoff. How are you, man? What you got going on?
Well, dude, I do Hoffcast every Tuesday, right around 9 to 9:30 p.m. This week I'm not doing one. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's gonna come out later, but yeah, every Tuesday 9 p.m. on YouTube I do a live stream. I usually have a guest on maybe once throughout the week. You can go to hoffcast.com to get all the updates, information, a lot of fun stuff there. Justin, thank you so much for having me for the show, man. I really do appreciate it. And Kai, it's always good to talk to you, man.
Yeah, same, dude.
And I'm Justin Proper, and I regret my decision tonight. No, I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had fun too. Check us out every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern this week in Bullshit. I also have other videos that I'm planning. Next week, I have a real conversation coming back with Craven Something Scary, and we're going to be talking about Scream 6. I'm going to be seeing that, well, while you're watching this in the premiere, I'm going to be watching Scream 6. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I'm seeing it as early as possible because bitches be spoiling everywhere, and I'm not having it. And I don't want to go on Twitter and look at my feed and just have all the reveals right in front of me, which has happened to people, and it almost happened to me recently. So I am trying to just see this as quickly as possible. Hope you guys understand, and hopefully you enjoy this one-off pre-record. So anyways, take care, be well, everybody, and live long and proper.
Those
you guys
are the
are
whitest
awesome.
bitches be I've ever heard.
What's that?
That was the whitest bitches be I've ever heard.
Bitches be what?
Wait, what'd you say? Bitches be spoiling it, and what?
Yeah, bitches be spoiling.
And you don't like that?
And I don't like it. Yeah.
Bitches be spoiling, and I don't like that.
Should I say it more cool? Like,
I don't remember what you
spoiling,
said.
And
but
I'm
you'll see it in the replay.
Yeah, I'll do that again. Bitches be spoiling, and I'm not about that shit.
Nah, yeah, that was better. That was better, but not aggressive enough. Try it again. Maybe with the out. Give it some bass.
Like, you know what? Bitches be spoiling, and I'm not about that shit. How's that?
Yeah, that's better. You sound more masculine like that. That's how it's done.
All right, guys. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Peace, guys.
Yeah, thanks for.
Well, thanks to the lame-ass security, I'm going home.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some oozing to do.
Bitches be. It's not proper grammar. But I know it means something different. Can someone explain to me the slang vernacular? You see, when someone says someone be doing something, they mean they doing the thing, not that they do the thing. You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense. I don't think you know what you're talking about. I mean, you know what? You probably have a good point.
Get that guy out of here. That guy right there. Are you listening to me, Mr. Security Man? That guy, gone.